If first impressions matter the most, then great character introductions matter most in gaming. Whether it's through a dynamic hero shot or an interesting juxtaposition of character and environment, we can be wordlessly told a wealth of information about our player avatar. One character who always manages to enter with both style and substance is Metal Gear Solid protagonist Snake. By now, the Metal Gear Solid franchise has earned a reputation for containing so many cutscenes that they may as well just be movies in themselves, but that's no accident. Series creator Hideo Kojima is a proclaimed movie buff, and has cited many films as having influenced both the Metal Gear series and the character of Snake. From the obvious shared profession with James Bond and Jason Bourne, to the Deer Hunter-inspired headband, Snake is a character crafted by cinematic nods.
My name is Pliskin.
Such passion for the silver screen is evident in the first three installments of the Metal Gear Solid series: 1997's Metal Gear Solid, 2001's Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty, and 2005's Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. With each new game, Kojima manages to drop Snake into an environment while using creative visuals to say a lot about the games we're about to play before we've even started playing them. Observing the reoccurring and unique individual elements between the openings of these three games highlights Kojima as a game developer with a well-trained cinematic eye. Right off the bat, all three games use environmental visual cues to emphasize one of the series' chief gameplay elements: stealth. Metal Gear Solid 1 starts with a submarine obscured by rolling ocean waves. Metal Gear Solid 2 features Snake trudging along under heavy rainfall. Metal Gear Solid 3 features a government plane flying through a sea of thick clouds. Secrecy is the name of the game in each, and all three times, nature is used as a means of hiding in plain sight. On an individual level, the cinematography and production design convey a lot of intel on each game. Metal Gear Solid 1's opening is littered with tight interior shots, particularly of Snake in his one-man SDV. Both the interior and exterior compositions focus on three things: stealth, secrecy, and small spaces. Metal Gear Solid 1 is telegraphing the close-quarters nature of Shadow Moses Island before Snake has even arrived. Metal Gear Solid 2's presentation is drastically different. Between the traffic-choked George Washington Bridge and the wide skyline of New York City, we understand that Snake is operating out in the open, more exposed than he has ever previously been. On a technical level, Metal Gear Solid 2 takes advantage of advanced hardware to allow Kojima to dwell on his cinematic muses. As Snake leaps from the bridge, the slow-motion shot is stylized in a way that wouldn't seem out of place in a John Woo movie, a directorial nod Kojima comes back to later in the game. Metal Gear Solid 3 brings us into a hybrid of what we've seen so far. Small interiors that deliver us to big, exposed environments. The visual cues suggest a bigger, more exciting world than Snake has ever entered. The compositions are grand and the shots more dynamic and exciting. Kojima is selling us on a bigger adventure from the get-go. So we've seen how Snake arrives for his missions, but what do we know about the missions, and by extension, the larger story? And when we are told anything about the situation, how much importance is there between what's shared and what's inferred? Metal Gear Solid 1 leads us into the game with an exposition dump. Snake and the player receive all of their orders up front and in a direct manner from Snake's commanding officer, Colonel Campbell.
You'll have two mission objectives. First, you're to rescue DARPA Chief Donald Anderson and the president of Armstech, Kenneth Baker.
However, Metal Gear Solid 2 begins with no such shared information. Snake is now a rogue agent, working only with the aid of Otacon, and that separation from a higher authority is reflected in that the audience gets no upfront intel. Even more important to this opening is the presence of regular series antagonist Revolver Ocelot. This is the only time in the trilogy that an opening features an enemy presence, and Ocelot's cryptic involvement begins to lay the seeds for the game's larger themes of control and manipulation. Metal Gear Solid 3 returns Snake to the command of a higher power, but this time there's less obvious exposition and more subtle info delivery. The camera's lingering gaze on the plane's government logos, the pilot's chatter about being over Soviet airspace, the tight cuts and racing score as the sequence progresses. This mission is not only top secret, but the tone and the political implications tell us it's a high-stakes race against the clock. With all these observations, we can't forget to focus on what all of this says about Snake, in any of his incarnations. After all, we're going to spend a lot of time playing as him, so what are these openings telling us about the protagonist of their own game? For starters, all three show that Snake, both solid and naked, is a man who likes his technology, even if said tech ends up not being entirely reliable. Metal Gear Solid 1 features him using a one-man SDV. In Metal Gear Solid 2, he relies on a cloaking device until it breaks down upon impact on the tanker deck. In Metal Gear Solid 3, he's participating in the world's first Halo jump. Snake may be an ideal soldier, but he's a man who likes his tools, and the rest of the series is very particular about that.
Incredible. Infinite ammo.
On a deeper level, the cutscenes say a lot about Snake's personality. We see his steel nerves and his willingness to take deadly jumps. We also see how he can be a bit of a show-off. But a more interesting detail that can be discovered is in how Snake behaves towards others, a lot of which can be inferred through his trademark vice, tobacco. In Metal Gear Solid 2, Snake is seen smoking a cigarette. Why is this so important? Well, this free, open enjoyment of a cigarette coincides with the fact that this is the only time in the trilogy that he's not under anyone's command. He obviously can't smoke in his scuba suit in Metal Gear Solid 1, but in Metal Gear Solid 3, when ordered to put out his cigar by a faceless soldier, Snake continues puffing away until his commanding officer orders him to. In order, Snake follows. This series of smoking sessions reveals that Snake is highly respectful of those who outrank him, a soldier through and through. The hours of cutscenes contained in the rest of this series only expands upon the skill that Kojima has as a visual storyteller. Even when he's pumping out pure, baffling insanity, it's unquestionable that he's doing so with a real love for cinematic language. As of the production of this piece, Kojima's future is uncertain, but a creator this well trained in the importance of visuals will surely find a way to express himself again soon. Hopefully, we don't have to wait too long.
What took you so long?